Hey guys, so in the past 6 months, I've made over $26,000 on Upwork. I've also achieved a 100% job success score, and I've also earned the top rated plus badge. On top of that, my profile has over 1,000 views in the past 90 days. And in this video, I'm going to show you my exact strategies on how I land high paying clients so you can do exactly the same. So the truth is, Upwork is not about luck. It's about knowing how to play the game. If you understand how the algorithm works, how to position your profile, and how to actually write proposals that convert, I guarantee you that you'll go from no clients to getting clients that are actually excited to work with you. Most freelancers are doing it wrong. They're writing low quality proposals to their clients and they're wasting connects, and then they wonder why they're invisible. But once you follow the right framework, your profile will stand out, you'll attract more clients, and you'll unlock more opportunities that most people never see. So I actually specialize in helping freelancers that use tools such as Lovable, Bolt, Replit land their first clients on Upwork. So whether you're a developer, a builder, or you're just starting out, this channel is about converting those skills into a steady income stream. So before we dive in, I've put together a Skool community where I help people that use these tools to get their first client in 90 days. The community is essentially a day-to-day accountability program where you can see that every day you're given a set of tasks. And if you join, you'll also get access to all my Upwork templates and also proposals that I use to land clients. I also share profile optimization strategies. So if you guys are curious and want to join, check the Skool link in the description for Vibe Coding School. So if you've ever felt that your Upwork profile is invisible or that your clients are just completely ignoring your proposals, then just stick with me. In this video, I'm going to show you guys how I've optimized my profile, how I cracked the algorithm, and how I scaled up to $26,000 in just 6 months. So let's dive into it. Okay guys, so the first thing to do is to create a high converting profile. And what I mean by this is that we just want to use the correct SEO keywords. And you'll typically see these keywords in the job title of a freelancer's profile. So in this case, these are the SEO keywords that I'm using, and essentially, they're all the tools that I offer to my clients and also that my clients are looking for. So for example, if a client is looking for a freelancer to complete a job with Replit, the vibe coding tool, then it's highly likely that my profile will display if it is boosted, given that I have the Replit keyword here. And if you're unsure what SEO keywords to put in your profile, then all you have to do really is switch to your client profile from your freelance profile. Type in the keyword here. So for example, if you want to be a vibe coder, then just type in vibe coder. And what you can do now is I would filter for top rated plus, and essentially you just want to filter for those top earners, those top profiles in your niche. So let's just go ahead and filter the hourly rate for $40 plus an hour. Also, we want to make sure they have a job success score of 90% and above. And we're going to check what kind of keywords they're using. Funny enough, I actually do show up. And essentially the keywords that you want to be using are the ones in the job title here. So for example, if you're doing mobile game development, then you can just look at this person's profile and copy their keywords and put them into your own profile, and make sure you sprinkle them in the actual job profile here on the right and not just in the job title. However, I do recommend that essentially you find the top 2 to 3 profiles in your niche and use the same keywords they're using in your own profile. In my case, I was actually the first person to offer Lovable.dev, Replit and Bolt as a service on Upwork back in January, as I noticed nobody was offering these services, so I just had to come up with the keywords myself, and essentially my profile blew up. So I do recommend in your profile to include outcomes. If you've worked with previous clients, if you've scaled up an app, let's say to 1,000 monthly recurring revenue, then you do include that in your profile here. And also you can just check out what other top profiles in your niche are doing, and you're going to just essentially use ChatGPT to write it for you with your own details. Now, the second tip is I would definitely include a portfolio of projects here to showcase to clients, because they're going to visit your profile beforehand and see if you need to be able to demonstrate to them that you're capable of building these tools. And one way of doing that is by showcasing existing projects. And also, if, for example, you're offering Lovable.dev services, you can essentially just go to the Lovable.dev templates page. And what you can do is, if you go to this page, Lovable.dev projects featured, you'll see there's numerous projects from the community, and you can just go ahead and filter for whatever tool you want to offer on Upwork. You know, if it's like a landing page or website, you can just go ahead in these templates right here and click on preview, then remix the project. And what that will do is it will import the existing project into your own Lovable account. And what I recommend you do here is that you customize this project and you tweak it slightly and you add a few features yourself, and then you can add that project into your own Upwork profile. And this will just really speed up the process here of getting those personal projects on your Upwork profile. Okay guys, so the next tip is whether to use connects for boosting your profile or to use them to essentially send out client proposals in hopes that a client replies back. So personally, I'm a big fan of boosting your profile. Now, before we dive into which method is better, you have to understand that every freelancer will have a preferred method that's worked for them, and also it's important that you understand the concept of connects. Connects is essentially Upwork's currency that they use. And when you purchase connects, those tokens allow you to make proposals to different client projects. So when a client posts a job on the Upwork job feed, you can then use connects to make a proposal to that specific job. And also connects can be used for boosting your profile. So I want to show you guys what happens when you boost your profile. Now, from a client's perspective, in this example right here, I've created a job post on Upwork, and it's essentially I'm asking for a 1-hour consultation with a YouTuber with over 50,000 subs to optimize and to run an audit on my YouTube channel. Now, after posting the job, Upwork will give you the option to send out 30 invites to these freelancers that are essentially recommended to you right here in the invite freelancers page. So what will happen when you boost your profile is that Upwork is going to push up your profile to the very top of this page here. So you'll get recommended as one of the first people for this specific job. And essentially when the client invites you to a job, that means that they've made a bid for you, and essentially your connects will get used up. And it's good because your connects are only used up if they invite you to a job. And the way to boost your profile is to go down here and click on boost your profile. Now you can select a category. For me, that would be web, mobile, and software development. You want to make sure you get the right category. And you can see there's many different categories here. And after experimenting with quite a few, I've noticed for me, the best specialty is full stack development. And then you can go ahead and do, let's say 20 bids per click, set it to a limit of 100. So it does not exceed that 100. So essentially you're only going to get 5 profile clicks in total. And you can also set a deadline here. So just make sure you're using your connects wisely. For me personally, I've won most of my contracts through boosting my profile. And the reason is, if I were to apply now to this job, it's, first of all, you can see here that 50 other people have proposed for this specific job post. So essentially I'm going to be competing with 50 other people. It's highly likely that the client is already chatting to other people. You can see here he's already interviewing 9 people and he's invited 20 other people. So I'm definitely not on the priority list for this job. And also you can see that if you were to apply to this job, for this one specific job, let's see how many connects, 20 connects for this job, and you're competing with over 50 people. Whereas if you're boosting, you're going to spend 20 connects for someone to actually click on your profile. So the whole dynamic shifts. It's essentially the client reaching out to you. It's more from a psychology of, okay, the client is now trying to win you over almost, and as instead of you having to compete with 50 other people to try and convince the client why you're the best person for the job. So a lot of you guys are probably now asking, okay, cool, a client has invited me to a job, what do I do now? So I always recommend that the first thing you do is you showcase example projects. So if you have a few URLs of example projects or past client projects, just send them over to the client in that first message. And essentially that's going to inform the client that you have the skills necessary to do this job, that you've worked with these tools and you know what you're doing. So you come across as someone that is competent. And in the same message, I would say, let's jump on a Zoom call so we can discuss your project. And I would try to get them on a Zoom call as soon as possible when you're starting out and you don't have clients, because that way you just show a lot of dedication. And I can guarantee you that 90% of the other freelancers are not trying to do this. They're not trying to get the client on a Zoom call. So by doing that, you show them that you're really dedicated that you're wanting to help. Also, it's just good to get on a Zoom call with a client because you can communicate back and forward as opposed to texting on Upwork messages. And you can also ask them questions about their projects to figure out whether it's actually feasible or not, and to figure out if you're actually a good fit for the job. So I highly recommend you get on a Zoom call and just please make sure that there's no background music, you show your face, and you have clear audio. Now guys, if you do want to send a proposal to a client, then I recommend you use this trick, which can really increase your chances of the client responding to you and considering you as a candidate for the job. You can see here, I'm just going to search for Lovable projects. There is a project for creating a yacht cruise website. Now, what you can do is you can just copy this entire job post, go into Perplexity, use the deep research feature, which is free, which is why I always recommend using Perplexity, and then just write a prompt like this. Write a Lovable.dev prompt for this website, and then just copy and paste that job post. Then open up a new Lovable project. Now, if you just go ahead and copy and paste this entire prompt, and what we're going to do next is we're just going to paste this into Lovable. Now, if the client is asked, hey, I'd rather have a Replit website, then just do it in Replit. It really doesn't matter. We'll just go ahead and click enter. Okay guys, now that Lovable has created our project, we can just go ahead and publish it. And what we're going to do next is just copy and paste the preview URL into our proposal to our client. So we can see here the project has been shipped by Lovable, and just copy this URL. You can see here if we open up the project in a new page, it will display our yacht website. So when we apply for this job, we can just include that URL in the proposal and say, hey, listen, I've already started on the project. You can take a look here. And that way you're showing immediately to the client that you're a lot more dedicated than other people. You've already started the project and you spend a bit more time, so it's highly likely they're going to engage with you. So a question I get asked a lot is, how do I maintain my client projects? Well, essentially, once you've completed that initial first request or task, whether that was building out an MVP and you've built it, what you're going to do next is you can just keep the contract open inside Upwork, and if the client comes back to you with additional requests that were outside of the initial scope, you can just add those on as an extra milestone onto the existing contract. So you can see here in this specific contract, the client sets out multiple milestones for me to complete, and I've just gone ahead and completed each milestone. And once you've completed a milestone, you just inform the client and they will release the payment. I also need to mention that I see a lot of people making a common mistake, which is that they build the client project in their own Lovable, Replit or Bolt account and their own Supabase account, and then they have issues transferring it over to the client's account. And that also means that you're going to have to cover prompts when building the app for the client. So all those costs associated with Supabase and Lovable, you're going to incur all those costs. So the solution to this is when you start a contract, you tell the client that they'll have to create their own account in Lovable or Supabase, and it's highly likely they've already got an account and they just have to invite you into their own workspace. And if you need more prompts, you just ask the client, hey, I need, let's say 100 or 200 more prompts, and the client will be more than willing to pay for those prompts, because ultimately what the client cares about is execution, that you can get the job done. Okay guys, so that's it for today's video. I hope you guys really take these lessons and implement them. I can guarantee you that if you use these tips and tricks that I've mentioned today in this video, that you will land your first client in a matter of weeks. Now keep in mind guys, I do offer my own Upwork templates and proposals inside Vibe Coding School. There's also a day-to-day accountability program that provides you with daily tasks that will only take 2 to 3 hours to complete every day for 90 days to guarantee that you land your first client. So every day you'll be completing tasks, and as of today we have over 270 members in the community. So if you're interested in joining, I've added a link below in the description. So that's it for today's video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to like and subscribe, and also comment below. See you next time.